Hey guys, welcome back to Maelstrom Gaming Studios. I'm Craig, and today we're going to do another datasheet deep dive for the Tyranids. Today it is the Tyranid Gargoyles. One of, if not probably the best unit in the Tyranid Codex right now. Tyranids, at the time of recording this, which is March 2nd, 2024, if you're watching this in the future, hello. Tyranids are not doing so hot right now. They are rocking anywhere between a 43 and a 47% win rate, depending on the sources that you check. And honestly, the only reason, in my opinion, it is that high are the Tyranid Gargoyles. It would be significantly lower if this key, crucial unit did not have the tools they have in order to score points for the Tyranids. So we're going to give you everything you need to know about how to use these guys effectively on the battlefield, how to score your maximum points, and help you win games in Warhammer 40k. With that being said, I do want to just thank all of our members, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our content here at Maelstrom Gaming Studios. And with that, let's dive into today's game video. So a little bit of an overview, if you haven't seen our datasheet deep dives before, we're going to go on the profile for the Gargoyles. We'll cover their special rules, how they fit into every detachment, and then their combos and playstyle. I often, if it's more of a damage dealer bug, I'll do some damage comparisons. But these guys, as you'll see, have a very basic shooting gun, and there's no point to even think about the damage they do. It's not going to change too much in your games. It's really about their playstyle and their special rules. So with that, let's get looking at the base profile. Gargoyles come in at 80 points now for 10 of them. They are basically a flying termagant. They are toughness 3, 6 up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, and OC of 2. The 2 is crucial there. They have a ranged weapon, that is the flesh bore. It is an assault weapon at range 18, 1 shot, hitting on 4s, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. And if they get stuck in melee and have to try and defend themselves, they have got 1 attack at strength 3, hitting on 4s, and no AP of damage. They don't do too much. Yeah, strength 5 is nice on their guns, but their damage output is poor. 12-inch move and assault shooting is key for them, as well as having OC 2. That's what you need to know about the profile. Looking at the special rules where these things really shine, they have the Winged Swarm and they have Deep Strike keywords. Those are the 2 big ones. So Winged Swarm allows you to make a 6-inch move after you shoot. So you can move your 12 inches, and you can shoot, and then you can move another 6 inches. Or, because they're assault weapons, you can move 12 inches, plus D6 for your advance, shoot, and then move another 6 inches. Allow you to cover up to 24 inches of movement in just one movement phase / shooting phase. The shooting phase happening there is pretty good because that means you can't overwatch them when it happens in the shooting phase, which allows them to get maybe a free poke out or something like that. This also works with their deep strike. So you can deep strike your gargoyles 9 inches away because that's what you have to do. And you can shoot and then move 6 more inches with the gargoyle. So really, it's almost like a 3-inch deep strike. Not quite, because you still have to have room for the full squad at 9 inches, but you can almost do essentially a 3-inch deep strike with OC2 models. Is very powerful. So those are the special rules and how the tools that the gargoyles have to their advantage. Now, how they benefit in different detachments. So first off, Assimilation Swarm, Pressure Stampede, and Synaptic Nexus. There isn't too much in terms of benefiting. Yes, in Assimilation Swarm, you could bring back a couple gargoyles maybe. In Nexus, you could maybe get a little bit of durability or movement buff for them, but it's not anything significant. They are simply here to score you points and be one of the best battle line in the entire game. They are great at scoring primary. They're great at denying your opponent's primary. And a lot of those secondaries that are annoying to get to, because they have that assault keyword, they can do them very well, get to the edges of the board, and score your points. So in Invasion Fleet, all of that still applies that we just talked about, except there's even more. So there's a strat to regen them as well, which can allow you shenanigans because it is a command phase revive. So you are allowed to, heal a few more. Maybe that allows you to steal an objective. Could be good for scoring you an extra couple primary points in the scoring. So that's really the only benefit from Invasion Fleet besides the basic detachment rule. Unending Swarm, so much potential here with Gargoyles. The Surge move allows you to move in your opponent's turn and tag things. You can bring a huge squad of these, big squad of 20, and just fire them up the board. So they have a 12-inch move. There's a strat for an auto 6-inch advance, which will be 18 inches. You could then shoot on top of that, which will allow you to move another 6 inches and cover the entire length of no man's land in one turn. On top of that, if you go first and pull off that big shenanigan move, what will happen then is you could potentially be less than an inch away from your opponent, and if they shoot you, you surge move into melee, and then they're stuck there and you can't shoot them, which would be fantastic for just stalling your opponent for a turn or two. Great work there. The Tyranid Prime does come with some enhancements that you can attach to a Gargoyle squad. Typically, I say that is not worth it at all. And then when it comes to Vanguard Onslaught, again, they gain the Invader keyword, or Vanguard Invader keyword, so it allows them to benefit from all the strats. Most importantly, with that, you can Deep Strike turn 1 with these guys. So again, remember our shoot, our Deep Strike, shoot, and then move. So again, just gives you so much more advantage. Doing that turn 1 can allow you to block some of your opponent's key units in their deployment zone if you go first. It'll allow you to maybe deny some of your opponent's turn 1 primary if you go second. Or if you've got one of those pesky secondary objectives that you can't deal with turn 1, maybe the Gargoyles can do it for you then. So all great benefits the Gargoyles have for you here. And then so combos, playstyles, I've talked on a few of these already, but we'll go over them again. First off with the Winged Prime, yes, he is a character that can join the Gargoyles. As cool as it seems, it's not worth it at all. Yes, the enhancements could say an extra 2 inches to my move, or give them some extra benefits here and there. Sustained hits if you really want on the Gargoyles. It's not worth it. The point of the Gargoyles is to pop in, disrupt your opponent, score you some primary and secondary points, and they die. That's it. They're 80 points for just causing huge headaches for your opponent and good scoring benefits for you. Do not waste a 65-point character plus the cost of enhancement on them at all, even in Unending Swarm. So you got to use these movement tricks, like I've been telling you a lot. I typically will Deep Strike all of my squads of them because I like to use that move, shoot, or Deep Strike, shoot, move ability on them. Big blocks, if you have that in Unending Swarm, that is an exception where I will almost always start them on the board, because I can take advantage of that 6-inch auto advance strat to get them 24 inches wherever they need to go turn 1, along with shooting. Unless they need to do an action, then that's fine. But still, I like to fire them up the board that way. And then if they die, whatever, bring them back and do it again. Find an objective that your opponent's less exposed. Oftentimes, opponents can only toe on to the edge of an objective. So if you've got, let's see here. Let's go to a quick top-down cam here. This objective right here in the corner. So watch me here. So oftentimes your opponent might only be able to toe onto an objective, or they may willingly only be towed onto objective like this. In this case, we have 2 Venatari here. They are OC2 apiece, and they are just towed onto the objective. What you can do with your Gargoyles is you Deep Strike 9 inches away from them right here. In this case, I just have 5 of them, but you know what, you guys will get the point across. You shoot at the Custodian Venatari here, you're not going to do any damage. Maybe you do if you're super lucky, but then you get to move 6 inches. And moving these guys 6 inches will allow me to get all 5 of these on the objective. All I have to do with this move is remember to stay outside of an inch of my opponent, which is very doable. And just like that, that is my objective. That is OC10 to OC4. This happened on my turn. Maybe this is a tempting target, or maybe it is an extend battle lines. And then my opponent will not hold this objective, which will allow me to deny their primary on their next turn. So that's one of the biggest shenanigans you can do with Gargoyles, just showing it right there. And I highly recommend you do that almost every game. Even if you put both squads in deep strike and it comes to turn 3 and you don't need to use them in that sort of way, deep strike them behind a building, put them somewhere safe because they move so much. Keep them somewhere safe, and then on turn 4 they can go do something, or on turn 5 then they can go do something. It's good for that, and you just don't throw them away too easily. Have a plan for them. Finally, a little trick here that some people don't know, I didn't know about for a while, is that one squad can hold multiple objectives, and if you have something like cleanse, one squad can cleanse multiple objectives. So a big block of 20 gargoyles can fly up the board and sit on 2 objectives and both cleanse those at the same time. So if you have drawn cleanse or you're playing fixed and do cleanse, that is an easy 4 or 5 points for the gargoyle squad. Try and keep 1 or 2 maybe towed in cover or out of line of sight, so if they kill a bunch of them, you can keep that gargoyle squad protected to go do damage in secondary or primary scoring another turn. You don't have to lose all of them at once, but still, that's something a lot of people don't know about, and it's a neat little trick that gargoyles are one of the only units can take advantage of in this game. Effectively, I should say. So that's pretty much it with gargoyles. For much of a conclusion, these are an S tier unit. The Tyranid Codex, it's got a lot of ups and downs, a lot of struggle going on with it right now. Unfortunately, we are suffering from the typical first Codex syndrome. But gargoyles really are one of the only units keeping us in it. So utilize them. It's fun. They're getting their time in the sun to shine. They're 15 minutes of fame right now. So use them as much as you can. I don't see them changing gargoyles in any way. And if they do, they're just going to probably ruin Tyranids if they make them worse. So super tactical units. Someone who really knows how to maximize their shenanigans will allow you to maximize your scoring with them. And I do think most competitive lists should have at least 2 groups of 10. I've seen some people argue for a group of, or 3 groups of 10, and it just, depending on your play style. So that's pretty much it for this gargoyle deep dive. Hopefully, if you're newer and you're just trying to understand how to use gargoyles for the best of your advantage, these are some good tips to letting you use them properly. If I'm out there, or if any of you are out there and I missed something with the gargoyles, it's very possible that it just, it went right over my head while I recorded this and I can't think of it. Put in the comments. Let me know if there's anything I missed. We're just trying to make the Hive Mind as a whole be better. And gargoyles are our way to do it. So that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time here at Maelstrom Gaming Studios.